All right, I'm going to try to narrate this thing and tell you this is about where the garden starts as you come up our driveway. So there's a bed here. Now you have to keep in mind all of these beds along here were all, here we go, covered with ground cover. I'll be over at a bed in a second to show you. So we have a whole bunch of grasses and hostas, and as I said, it leads up to the driveway, and you don't need to see our dumpsters, but there they are. We just created with mulch basically different and rocks, different bed structures, and we left this one bed over here kind of with all the ground cover so that you could see what it would have might have looked like with all the other ground cover. So over here we have a rock wall and a Japanese maple tree that's doing quite well. A gift from a man who took pottery classes with Amy and Brooke. Um, Huge silver maple used to be there. Huge silver maple used to be over here too. But it came down. There's Amy very quickly, but you didn't really see her because she doesn't want to act. Um, we have another bed over here. This is on the west side of the house. Our house goes north-south, our yard does. We created paths on this side that go up into the garden area, and then it diverges. You can either take this other path that's created with mulch and see a stream of rocks down there, some sculptures, a bird bath out of found materials basically. There's a ceramic fish down here that Amy made. And again, you can make a path just using mulch. And here's another ceramic fish. This is kind of our fish area. If you noticed before, we have a bunch of fish in this area. So past that Japanese maple, we have a sculpture of Newt, who is a rock and metal sculpture that Amy bought for her birthday a couple of years ago up in Michigan, again in a reclaimed bed area, which turns out well. And if I'll just turn around, you can see back on that mulch path. So we can actually go down the mulch path again, narrating for quite a long time. So go down the path, you can make a left-hand turn. There's again some sculptures here, some more rock areas with different colors and patches of mulch. And then we created some steps so people at the garden tour would know that they could walk through here and out into, it's a pretty good expanse of lawn. We can play frisbee back here, volleyball. Not that we do, but we could. And it's surrounded, as you come out of that path, it's surrounded all the way down the yard. This year we have trying to grow some tomatoes. They're being very stubborn. Bunch of hydrangeas. These are actually marigolds. Maybe they help keep the deer away, but one of the things that's keeping the deer away, you can't even really see it. It's this fencing that's all around the yard. It's about 7 feet tall. We have a big deer problem here in our neighborhood. If I go out on a walk in the evening, I'm pretty much guaranteed to see at least 3 to 6 deer just eating people's yards up. They love it here. We don't bother them. They don't bother us. So we found this table out in an alley and stripped it down and painted it blue, and it looks nice in the garden. Threw a couple of old paintings up on the wall. That's the shed where we store, shed stuff, mowers, rakes, that kind of thing. We have a disc golf basket in the back here so we can practice our disc golf. This is a buckeye tree right here. Our neighbor was trying to spray it with herbicide, and I asked him what he was doing, and he said killing a buckeye tree. I thought it was wrong since, hey, we live in the Buckeye State, right? So we planted it as a tiny thing about that big, and now it's like this, fighting for light. It's great back here. It gets real dark. One of the things we have on this fence over here are some little lights. We have some spotlights. Here's another sculpture. It's a iron sculpture, primarily as a plant stand. You can tell it's a bird, and they have lights on them too. threw a couple of paintings up. Back here in the corner, I'm growing mushrooms, or trying to. This is my first attempt, and we have to be real patient because the logs that are under the burlap sack are um, impregnated with spores of different shiitake mostly, and oyster mushrooms. So we're looking forward to seeing this fall if we can actually harvest some mushrooms. Stay tuned. And we have rain barrels on the shed that we collect rainwater. We can water a lot of the garden back here. So from the house, there's Amy way down there. It's about 190 feet. So Amy has spent years and years and years cultivating this property and these beds, digging them out, weeding them, mulching them, lining them with rocks, mowing around them. Um, she loves to garden. When we bought the house, I told her that I was not in a family that embraced or did any kind of yard work, so I didn't know it and really didn't want to do it. Oh, here's another feature of the yard. You can see back in here, this is the grotto, and we have a statue surrounded by shrubs, and she has little lights up above her, and they are solar lights, and they'll come on and they dimly light her at night. So it's kind of this nice little feature that as people walk around the yard, they can't really see her or even think to look back there. But it's a kind of nice little hidden feature. Over the past few years, we've been trying to add more visual interest to the yard, and so we've added newt, we've added the sculpture back there, Amy added, that was in our living room actually, and she looks very peaceful back here. So overall, you can get a sense that the yard's pretty deep. It's kind of narrow, about 35 feet, I think. Maybe going on 40. That's not very wide. Anyway, it's deeper, much deeper than it is wide. But Amy has planted all of these beds over the years. Only in the last couple of years have I stepped up to help her. But it looked great. It looked great for the garden tour. We were glad to be one of 12 gardens on this year's Clintonville garden tour. Real proud of what it looks like. It's taken a lot of work. Maintenance is so much easier than the initial outlay of work. So it's looking good. You can see the back of our house right there. So Amy's done a great job back here, and people find it to be very peaceful. Hopefully looking at this video makes you feel a little peaceful too. So thanks. This is Don signing out. Have a great day. Bye.